Okay, good morning. We are still in the review section of Course in Miracles, lessons 2. I'm going to do 2 today because I missed yesterday, 208 and 209. And we're still, for I am still, as God created me, I'm not a body, I am free. For I am still as God created me. And when I read these 2 lessons, these 2 review lessons, I think this pretty much ties together everything that is attempting to occur within the healing and the transformation and the salvation of the world. My salvation and the salvation of the world. I'm not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. The peace of God is shining in me now. I have no idea why that makes me laugh, and it's just that you can feel the joy. You can begin to feel the joy within you when you start to touch the communication and experience the communication that's always been there. The peace of God is shining in me now. I will be still and let the earth be still along with me. It's an interesting line. It's a recognition that there's no separation. There's no, in a sense, I'm not separate. How do I say this? Obviously, as the thing that I am as God created me, it has nothing to do with the world of space and time. Because I am, because we're eternal and we're infinite. So, it's not as if the world of space and time is a projection of my mind, and therefore, when I am still in my mind, it is still because it is emanating, in a sense, from my own mind. It's a projection from my mind. So, if I am still, and my mind changes, then that which I am envisioning suddenly is still as well. And in that stillness, when I discover that stillness within myself and allow that communication to communicate both to me, through me, and from me, that everything begins to participate in the peace of God with me, because there is no separation in anything whatsoever. There's no distance, space, and time between myself and my own ideas, certainly. And since the world is a world of my own ideas, I could possibly be separate from it. So in my own stillness is the ability for a second for the world, for everything to be still in me and with me, and in a sense catch up with that communication and become and allow the love that I experience in the stillness, in that stillness wherein which I recognize I am still as God created me. I allow that love to become part of what it is I'm extending to all things, because there is no separation in that sense. While we are not an illusion, we are not separate from the illusion that we're projecting either, which is why it can change as our mind changes. It's a simple fact. And in that stillness, we will find the peace of God. It is within my heart which witnesses to God himself. And then we go on to lesson 209. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created. I feel the love of God within me now. The peace of God is shining within me. Now I feel the love of God within me. And the love of God is what created me. The love of God is everything I am. The love of God proclaimed me as his son. And the love of God within me sets me free. So now everything, we've reassociated everything back to within us. Here, even the world. And now we're back within ourselves, where we are not bodies, but we are free. And we experience the love of God as part of our being. And in the non-necessity to define ourselves based on the desires of the ego to control its own reality through definition, because of the nature of fear and guilt. In the non-necessity to define ourselves as separate from everything, the love of God from within, the peace and stillness which is shining within me, begin to extend, and everything begins to take on that glow, because I'm just seeing the extension of myself and all that God created, and my brothers as well. So I'm not a body, I am free, and I'm still as God created me, and when I reach in, as within, so without, as above, so below, and when I reach in to find that stillness and recognize it and utilize it as, I'm going to use as the viewpoint from which, out of which I operate, from within which I operate, and out from which I operate in a sense as I look beyond, out. Since I'm not separate from the love. Oh my God. This whole thing, it catches me up and it takes me over. I don't know how to say this. It catches me up and it takes me over. And when I look within and feel the activity of it, there is absolutely no separation, no exclusion. Everything is part and parcel to the experience of being, one with reality. And I listen to the words that I use to express what I'm expressing, and I laugh at the obvious nature of what it is I'm expressing. And I don't know if I'm going to say this right. And, I give my best shot at attempting to express this stuff, but there's a certain time where the expression isn't separate from what I am. And when we do enter into that stillness, when we do enter into the peace of God, when we do enter into love, it's not an experience separate from our being. It is our beingness being expressed. And, some of the time, when you begin to experience the truth, you laugh at the absurdity of what you believed and what you thought prior to coming into that moment of recognition of what you are as God created you. And you have to laugh at the absurdity. And as I look at this, as my mind opens through the utilization of these words from Jesus and the willingness to sort of let them be true because they are true, and let them be Jesus teaching me through my own willingness. When I allow my mind and heart to just rest, okay, I will be still. When I allow myself to just be still, the experience is all pervasive. And the words at times seem redundant And I laugh because I know, whether you know it or not, I know that you know exactly what it is that I'm expressing, because you're not separate and you're not different than I am. And in that sense, there are moments where, how do I say this without too much depreciation of myself? It's like I have to laugh at the absurdity of the idea that I could be expressing to you something that you don't already know, and that we don't know together as one. And so what becomes obvious is what was hidden in plain sight before. And when I see it, when I just sort of listen, when I read these words, and I join with Jesus in the willingness to learn to see as he sees as the Christ, and he knows as the Christ knows, and he experiences as the Christ experiences, because we are that. We are that in the oneness of the kingdom. The simplicity, the obviousness of what is being expressed, when the experience has come to take the place for the need for learning in words. And many of you have had this, and you simply allow yourself the moment of stillness, and you allow your heart, your mind, to sink into your heart. The peace and harmony become apparent. And they've always been there, which is the interesting thing. It's like they've always been there. It's that scene in the in Field of Dreams, where suddenly the brother-in-law looks around after the daughter's life has been saved and sees all the baseball players. Says, "Where'd all these ball players come from? Wow, where'd the peace of God and all this love come from?" And that's you. And when we're joined in it, there is nothing else. When we are separate from it within ourselves, we're separate from everything, and it doesn't seem to be able to be found anywhere. But the peace of God is always exactly where he left it. And in this lesson 209, the love of God is what created me. The love of God is everything I am. The love of God proclaimed me as his son. And the love of God within me sets me free. Basically, everything has been reassociated within your own heart and mind back to the love of God as what you are and your own cause. So now we're still. And in that stillness, in that silence, we discover the love of God exactly where we left it when we allow our mind to sink into a heart, into the heart of love. And there we are, and there's everything along with us. And the idea that there was anything to worry about or we're concerned about goes right out the window. You could feel that. I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as God created me. I like that he uses the word still. fits nicely in both ways. I am still, meaning I have always been, and I am now as God created me. I am still. I exist as the peace of God. I exist as the love of God. There is no opposition to it. So there is no turbulence. There's no turmoil. And at any moment in time, we can let the world go. Let our concerns about the world go, which keeps us from experiencing this stillness, this peace, and this love. And allow ourselves to dip down into it and bring it with us now wherever we go. And extend it because it is our being, not by effort, but by grace. So I'm not a body. I am free. I am still as God created me.